be with you in just a sec. Let's see if anyone's going to manage to make it into the room with my almost 500 subscribers. Make it make sense, as they say. Right. It almost feels... I'll wait till someone's in the room. Alright, 2 minutes. Is it almost 500 subscribers? I can't remember now. So it doesn't seem to make that much difference, does it? Alright, just opening up the space. Calling in protection. Hmm, 3 minutes. How are we going? Oh, almost 4 minutes. Is it almost 500? It's definitely over 420 or 430. Wow, almost 5 minutes. That's so fascinating. Well, I guess I'll just begin. So I have some channeled messages. So before I begin, I would like to acknowledge your ancestors, my ancestors, and the ancestors of the of the land, of the ground on which we stand. Let's get some cards just to open it up. Okay. The Seven of Swords. moment. The Ten of Pentacles. And the Star card. Very interesting. The channeled messages today are about the paradox of laughter in horror. And Spirit has very much been bringing this image to me over the last week of that final powerful moment towards the end of the film, The Titanic, which, let's remember, is not just a film. It's a real story. It's a true thing that happened. The Titanic. If you have not heard of the Titanic, you might want to look into it. The story may have some meaning for you. Oh, oceanic, that's good. That works for us. 7 minutes. And none of my almost 500 subscribers have seemed to be invited into the room. I've been thinking about monetize. Oh no, I'll talk about that another time. Okay, so the paradox of laughter in times of horror. I can flip that upside down for you if you like. Will that help? The paradox of laughter in horror, in times of horror. The main question that is coming through with this reading is also a reflection on the way that the collective is behaving at this time. Is a reflection on the way the collective is, as a whole, responding to, and particularly creators, content creators. You may be a content creator. You may be a performer, you may be a musician, you may be a tarot reader, just like me, a tarot reader. You may even be a comedian, because this has definitely got to focus on the way that people are responding to our shared reality here in this moment. Are you somebody who is playing the violin? Are you somebody who, like those brave musicians, played music to comfort and soothe the souls of those who were in fear, in distress, as the Titanic was sinking? Now, obviously, this is a metaphor connected to the frequency of the Tower card. I wouldn't be surprised if the Tower card comes out. And this can mean something different for each of you. But I have been noticing the content creators I've been watching, particularly people, and this isn't everybody, people that are talking about and exposing corrupt CEOs, corrupt politicians, corrupt businessmen, corruption in the tech world, the crimes against humanity that are taking place. Some of them are doing so with this thick accent of sarcasm, of mockery. And it's taken me a little bit to process, because I understand that humor is a survival tool. I understand that humor is a way of transmuting and transforming. You need to understand and remember that when you are a content creator, when you are a leader, whether that's as an actual leader of a group, of an organization, of a family even, what frequency does it bring into the space if you are making continuous mockery and jokes about what is taking place, particularly if your work is viewed by or witnessed by a survivor or a victim of some of these horrendous things that are surfacing. Yeah? So here, I'll read you some of my notes, some of the channeled messages that I got in meditation the other day. Number 1, it is that deep. Number 2, it is not a joke. Also, whoever needs to hear this, there is no competition. The competition is an illusion and a test. We can see that clearly with this 7 of Swords, which is a sneaky energy, which is a frequency of moving forward, but actually being focused on what is behind you. And the way it's coming out alongside this 3 of Pentacles is like this frequency, this energy is looking at the collaboration, is looking back at the whole collective. Three of Pentacles is about collaboration, is about working together, is about the manifestations that can only take place when people work together, when people come together, when people join forces rather than compete with each other. 13 minutes in, how fascinating. We then have the Hermit card. The Hermit card speaks of the inner light. And so there's been a lot of messages coming through in this space about as above, so below, what is happening in smaller micro ecosystems and communities and situations that are deeply connected to and reflective of what is happening for the entire collective. Let me make sure you're focused. I've been told I can be distracting. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is very much coming through as safety. When the Titanic was sinking, many people were watching their loved ones die. Many people were fearful of and scared of and facing their own deaths. And being stranded in the ocean. Being stranded in the middle of the sea. Rejecting all projections. It's so interesting as a telepath and a highly intuitive clairvoyant. I so often can hear the negative meanings and the twisted meanings that are trying to be sent to me around the words I'm saying. That are always ludicrous and ridiculous. But kind of annoying, right? Then we have the Star card, wish fulfillment. As the Titanic was sinking, which is the metaphor of the of the world right now, of the old world sinking, just like the Tower card. Of disaster, of destruction. There would have been people wishing for and praying for their lives to continue, wishing to live, wishing that their loved ones would live, wishing and hoping that somebody will come along the horizon and rescue them. The horror stories and truths that are surfacing, that are our Titanic. The image of the playing of the violins as the Titanic was sinking. This is different to making jokes and being extremely nonchalant, mocking how people are reacting to the crisis. Can you imagine being on the Titanic as this is taking place? Can you imagine somebody doing a comedy routine about it? Can you imagine somebody laughing, mocking, and making light of what is taking place? Are you somebody doing that right now? Are you somebody who knows somebody who is witnessing a situation like that? Are you somebody who is being creeped out by some of the content creators who look like they're doing a comedy skit when they're, like, for example, talking about sex trafficking, child abuse, war, death, famine? And I do understand that a lot of these content creators are trying to not get their videos deleted from apps like these, and a lot of these content creators are trying to mock the people that are abusing their power. This might be happening for you in a work situation, in a home situation. But what does that mean to be mocking and making jokes as the Titanic is sinking? What does that really mean? What does that really say? Okay. Some of the other channeled messages we got is, ask yourself, why are you making that joke? Are you considering the victims/survivors or the lives lost? Who is that joke benefiting? Who is that sarcasm and that nonchalant attitude actually benefiting? And who is it reflecting upon truly? And I guess that a lot of you will find that it is a reflection of actual fear, actual anger. And then what concerns me is how many people actually are leaning into a sadistic, dangerous place, very dark place, where they are wanting to deny what is happening in their lives and in our collective by just making jokes of everything. And what is that actually doing? What is that doing spiritually to you? What is that doing to your loved ones? What is that saying to the whole collective as the Titanic is metaphorically sinking? So we have the Hermit is waiting. The Hermit is learning. The Hermit card is somebody who is looking to their inner light. And this is what you're being asked to do. Look into your inner light, the inner light of the Hermit card, which is interesting because lanterns would have been hanging all around the Titanic, and I believe that as the Titanic was sinking, there was still light shining from within the Titanic. And that would have been one of the last things, the last light, as the survivors who were in the water, in the lifeboats around the Titanic, one of the last things they would have seen in terms of any illumination was the lights within the Titanic as it was sinking. So there's something significant about that. Safety. So there's a real insecurity, unease around safety that's happening right now. And who are you? What kind of frequency, how do you want to show up? And I know that it seems cool to be nonchalant and non-caring about what's happening, but you are being tasked, your spirit team, your spirit guides, the heavens and the underworld are asking you to look deeper. Are you afraid about your security, about your home? Are you afraid about war, famine, destruction, disease coming into your safe space? Are these people making jokes as the Titanic is sinking? Are they affecting your frequency, your connection, your communication with the other side, your gifts, your heart, your soul, your ability to be kind, your ability to show up as a human being? Are you seeing this in other people? Or are you one of the brave ones playing the violin? Are you one of the conscious, awoken, aware beings who understands that people do not need to be mocked as their lives are put in jeopardy? Because the ship is sinking. The Titanic, metaphorically speaking, we are watching a global collapse, a destruction of the old world that is a sinking ship. And there are so many people trying to hold on to maybe even this wish fulfillment energy, or trying to hold on to the Titanic as it is bound to sink below the surface. So who are you? Who do you want to be? Here's some other channeled messages. Fear, death, anger, fate, panic, loss, separation from loved ones, family and homeland, anxiety, confusion, sadness, sorrow. The years between 2022 and 2026 has been a time of great unrest, filled with threats both large and small. And many have chosen to hide how this is making them feel by putting on masks. And Spirit saying this needs to stop. When people are speaking of the horror we are experiencing and witnessing, such as the Epstein files, let's get some precious resources. When people are speaking of the horror we are experiencing and witnessing, such as the Epstein files, many are ridiculing, saying how ridiculous it is, making jokes. Many are also ridiculing the abusers in the situation. Is this out of shock? Is this out of frustration? Brazilianite with flexibility. Clear quartz with purification. Herkimer diamond with dreams. You may be having messages coming through in your dreams. You may be putting up a certain front, putting up a certain mask for the whole world. And then in your astral space or in your daydreams or in your home life, that is where your true feelings, your true guilt, your true fear, all these big emotions that it is only natural for you to be feeling right now as the Titanic is sinking. Please be clear and divine discernment. The Titanic was the most expensive modern cruise liner. Both extremely wealthy people and lower class people shared the fate of the sinking ship. Aquamarine with communication. All those riches fell to the bottom of the ocean floor. All those riches, the diamonds, the jewels, the fur coats, the expensive embroidered clothes, the expensive luggage, the chandeliers that were hanging in the great ballroom of the Titanic, all of that, all of it sunk to the bottom of the ocean floor. Healthy body with agate. What does it do to the mind, to the body, to the soul, to hear somebody making jokes about something, a situation, a time that is in truth scary and brings up feelings in you such as fear, anger, panic, anxiety, sadness, confusion, sorrow. And then we have pink tourmaline with forgiveness. Flexibility clarified by communication. Purification clarified by healthy body. Dreams clarified by forgiveness. And relationship healing underneath with morganite. What happens when something that is a cover-up is uncovered? How do we collectively react to that? Though the richer passengers got prioritized when the resources of lifeboats were being divided. So those ones playing music, they knew that there were people of lower classes who were never going to get on lifeboats, who were going to be battling to get up from even the lower levels of the sinking Titanic. Music helps you heal. Music helps you process emotions. And music also distracts and shifts the mind from going into a state which makes things unbearable. And some people would have died listening to the beautiful, beautiful playing of those violins. You do not want survivors, you do not want victims, you do not want people hearing the last thing that they hear before they leave this realm to be some sarcastic jokes about what in reality is no joking matter. So who are you? Who do you want to be? You know? That's up for you to decide. Let's get some spirit animals. Please give me clear and divine discernment to be most beneficial for everyone involved. How do you keep alive on your lifeboat? Who is in your lifeboat? What is in your lifeboat? The things we need to be alive, clearing all projections, to live, food, water, air, shelter, and each other. Have we forgotten that? Golden egg. Life. I'm seeing that scene in Fifth Element where the being says, time does not matter, only life. Please give me clear and divine discernment that will be most beneficial for everyone involved. I'll repeat that. To live, we need food, water, air, shelter, and each other. All of those things create protection. As the Titanic was sinking, people would have been shivering, freezing cold, would have been scared. The water would have been dark. The sound of crying children. Do you think anybody was laughing? That would seem a little bit twisted, wouldn't it? That would seem a little bit sick. And then we have lamb. There were hundreds of children on the Titanic. And lots of innocent people who were too lower class to make it onto the lifeboats. There would have been doom and dread. And I know so many people would have been so indescribably thankful to hear music cutting through the sound of screams, the sound of horror, and the dread that they felt within. Who do you want to be? Someone playing a violin? Or somebody terrorizing, mocking, joking, and downplaying the fact that the Titanic is sinking? Then we have the dragon, dragon's eye. And that's coming through with dreams. Maybe I'll do it like that. It'll be a bit clearer for you. Thanks so much everyone who's clicking like. How ethical of you. Doom and dread. Are these the things you would aim to profit from? As the driving motivation, such as many companies, orgs, and individuals are right now? To save ourselves, to be rescued, to work together in order to survive, to keep the lifeboats floating. We then have sea serpent, which is interesting considering we're talking about the metaphoric Titanic. That's coming through with communication. It's interesting, I channeled a message about us angering the gods of the seas, which is part of the reason we're seeing so much deaths by and of sea creatures. A tightrope to balance humor to survive without being insensitive, cruel, or adding to the pains and distress of the viewer. Hyena, known for their laughter. Do we want a pack of hyenas on the Titanic as it is sinking, clearing all projections? Do we? Is that appropriate? No. I would much rather hear the sound of violins. And that's coming through over the healthy body, which is our gate. It's unhealthy. It creates a dissonance. It creates confusion between the mind, body, and soul. For your body to be feeling fear, for your soul to be knowing what is happening. And not just fear, but also awareness of what's important. This is a time where you should allow your feelings of love and care and community to grow, not to be pushed to the side so you can make some cheap jokes. And then we have eagle, the eagle eye, which is coming, which is part of, which is affirming pink tourmaline with forgiveness. In those moments, in the last moments of the Titanic sinking, if you were somebody trapped still on the ship, somebody who was not going to make it, your last thoughts could be about, anger towards the people that built the Titanic, towards the people responsible, towards the rich people on the boat, towards your family member, friend, colleague who abandoned you. To have an eagle eye perspective, and pink is also connected to the heart chakra. To have an eagle eye perspective on who you are in this time of great chaos and fear and destruction. Are you being insensitive? Are you being cruel? Are you adding to the pains and distress of the viewer, the listener, or the reader? Okay, so that's all of the messages that I'm going to read from my channeled notes. I'm going to close this out with some Rider Waite. Some of you may need to write. Some of you may be writers. Give me clarification for the golden egg and flexibility. Rejecting all projections. Clarification on the golden egg and the Brazilianite. Some of you may be connected to Brazil. There may be something about to happen in Brazil connected to the golden egg. That does make me think of the golden goose. Wealth is breaking down. Class is breaking down. And the powers that have dominated and abused their power are being forced to admit that the Titanic is sinking. Please give me clear and divine discernment that be most beneficial for everyone involved. You then have the sea serpent with communication, which is aquamarine, a beautiful green color. The emerald tablets may be significant. You may want to look into that. The color green is also connected to the heart chakra and, of course, nature. Some people may, unfortunately, associate it with money. And as I just said, class is breaking down. The Knight of Wands, a messenger of change, a blazing fire of change. And all of the connections, all of the, I went to say kinetic, the connection came through. All of the connections within the golden egg, all of the potential of chaos magic that we all need to intentionally be aware of. Because magic can always go one way or the other, right? And the Five of Wands is about competition. Can we please have the clear quartz and for purification and the lamb clarification, please? The Nine of Cups. Yeah, it's like I'm wanting to say God. I'm wanting to say the higher powers. I'm wanting to say the goddess. I'm wanting to say the old gods. I'm wanting to say that the higher souls of us, awoken beings, are coming forward to protect the innocence of the lamb, which of course definitely makes me think about the Epstein files. But not just the children. It's not just about protecting children. We must protect the inner child. I know a lot of the first lifeboats that left the Titanic had prioritized putting women and children in them. Is that what we're doing at the moment? Who's to say, right? The cards can say, and you can say. Can we have clarification for the R gate with healthy body and hyena, which came through like the people mocking and making jokes at this incredibly serious time. And then we have the Two of Cups. This is coming through as people being afraid and scared to hold love, to be love, to live in the frequency of love. Because they may lose that love in this, the destruction of the old world. And can we please have clarification for dragon with this crystal, or this diamond, sorry, which is Herkimer diamond with dreams, dragon dreams. Then we have the Ten of Wands, the closing of a cycle. Please give me clarification for the eagle and the pink tourmaline for forgiveness. I also love that the pink tourmaline has come out when I intentionally place the black tourmaline for protection already. So that's very fortified protection, which will only come from us taking care of each other. The Three of Wands. I need to step out. I need to leave behind the sarcasm, the mask of la comedian, of mockery, of being so nonchalant and making such a joke out of everything. That anybody that does love you and does care about you, and maybe even has a lifeboat with a place for you on it, you are also mocking. Goes without saying, this could also be for some of you talking about mocking and discriminating against people that are different to you, different to the old world idea of normal. And finally, we have the Seven of Cups, which is sitting alongside Morganite with relationship healing. It's important nobody takes this channeled message, which is a download, a channeled message, as me dismissing how helpful and healing laughter can be. But you know when somebody is basing all of that laughter and humor on in good light or in darkness, in a malevolent you know what I'm saying. Oh look, that's amazing. And then under the tarot deck, under relationship healing, there is music with spirit quartz. And I now, in my mind's eye, am seeing somebody who is making if this continues, then people will be thrown off the sinking ship, because everybody is already facing the death of the old world, and for some people even deaths within their families, deaths within their lives, deaths within their workplaces, deaths to the old lives that they once had or once knew. And just quietly, the devil loves the idea of humanity being so drawn into trying to distract themselves from the reality of what we are all facing and the accountability that humanity is being forced to address. The devil loves the idea of us all just distracting and laughing and mocking. And I even heard bullying just then. In a time when we actually could be saving ourselves and saving life. This definitely has some frequencies connected to Noah's Ark, I believe. Maybe one of you, unnamed Noah, maybe you're connected to Noah. Which also makes me think of Noel. And don't forget the magical power of frequency, music, sound, your own voice. And to peel off the protective armor of the Joker, joking away like a comedian, to peel off that protective armor, that mask, and actually look at yourself in the mirror and actually be brave enough to be as serious as you should be at this time. Ooh, 52:55 on the tick over clock. So much love from me.